John led his destroyer to Mistral as a distress call was still outgoing. SES, Wings of Freedom, Democracy Officer. We have arrived, Helldiver. John, where is the distress call's source? Do. The town of Cheyenne. John, Cheyenne, a relatively large town. Do we have any more details? Do. Nothing, sir. It has been radio silent. John, this is troubling. Do. Sir, other destroyers have joined the fleet. SES, Judge of Judgment. SES, Forerunner of Audacity. SES, Representative of Integrity. These are just jokes towards the personalities of their divers. John, all right, let's dive. The message was relayed to the other destroyers, and they sent their respective divers down into the village. When the pods lands into the clear areas of the village, they were met with instant hostility as the village was in ruins and was in the middle of a huge battle. Survivors of the village were trying to escape a massive horde of Grimm and a large hive of insectoid-like creatures. It was a three-pronged battle as humans fought Grimm and bugs alike. John, Helldivers give them hell. The other Helldivers screamed their lungs off as they charged into the enemy. John was wielding a large machine gun shooting at the horde, laughing all the way long. The bugs were more durable and aggressive than the Grimm, as the creatures of darkness were easily wiped out by the insects. With that, it was man versus bug now, and it was practically even with how some of the bugs appeared to be heavily armored that most rounds just bounces off them. The dust bullets the civilians and huntsmen used ricochet even at the lightest of the bugs' armor, and the more potent arsenal of the Federation, although some shots could penetrate, but it takes autocannon and anti-tank munitions. The bugs were difficult, that some Helldivers were cut down as a result. Reinforcements arrived in the form of the other destroyers that joined John on this rescue mission. Divers. Carden Winchester of the SES, Judge of Judgment. Sun Ryukong of the SES, Forerunner of Audacity. And Neptune Vasilias of the SES, Representative of Integrity. Carden, sir. John. Carden, good to see you, and you've brought Sun and Neptune too. Sun. Finally, the gang is back together again. Neptune, on you squad lead. John, all right, get. Rumble. The ground begins to shake as the divers tries to compensate for the imbalance. Then something massive came out from the ground. It was a Neptune. What in the name of liberty is that thing? Carden, stop gaping and concentrate fire. The Helldivers began calling for heavy support weapons, varying from expendable anti-tank launchers, anti-material rifles, recoilless rifles, and so on. Rocket sentries and mortar sentries were deployed. Seeing little effect. Sun, man, that thing sure is tough. Neptune, what is it doing? Carden, take COVRRR. As many Helldivers dived and ducked, but some were hit by its bile, and it was acidic, melting the poor divers caught in its path along with some of the Cheyenne's people. John made the executive decision to unleash the most potent of their weapons. He then punches in the inputs. Right arrow, up arrow, down arrow, right arrow. As he throws the stratagem near its position, and then a targeting laser TRZCKWD its moments to deliver an instant killing blow. Neptune, Mother of Mercy, was that the orbital cannons strike. Carden, did the Ministry of Defense authorize that? John, we are to operate without restrictions now. Sun, damn sucks to suck bug. He kicked a dead bug, while some of the divers planted the Federation flag on a bug corpse. The survivors of Cheyenne came to them and thanked them for even coming as they gave up hope anyone would. The divers gave them supplies to help them get by as they call in for support from the Federation. The Ministry of Science wanted to study the source of these bugs as they came in force to check on the meteor crash site with Helldivers and FAF, Federation Armed Forces, to protect them. Studying the remains, they realized that the bug's blood was a chemical match to their fossil fuel, which got the full support of the Federation to farm the bug carcasses. The Ministry of Science came up with a name after realizing the purpose of which the bugs came to Remnant. It was to devour biomass, as it appeared that the bugs have already devoured local wildlife and humans when they went on a rampage. This was an existential crisis for Remnant, as they realized there is hostile alien life forms with the objective is to eat them all. A plan was being formulated to repurpose the shipyard into an orbital platform with the purpose of creating a defense layer, just in case another bug meteor may try to land on Remnant again. With the discovery of the newly dubbed Terminid blood as fuel, they were able to skyrocket their advancement into space, as many ships were being fueled by this new resource they discovered. Now they were researching on a possible way to kill these bugs easily. At first they realized they were susceptible to fire, as the flamer units were able to easily kill the smaller of the species, but the bigger ones are the problem. They were still on the defensive as Jaune and the Helldivers are now assigned to take care of any bug sighting in Mistral. They scoured the rest of the kingdom for any possible threats. As of now, nothing much to report. The Federation is now gearing up to warn the entire world of this, but the question is, will the rest of Remnant would stand together or squabble once more? The Federation has no time with children as they ramp up destroyer production near Remnant's broken moon. Days later, back to our heroes. Jaune, Carden, Sun, and Neptune were on a scouting mission. Neptune, thank managed democracy, we were able to make a difference that day in Cheyenne. Sun, yeah, those bugs never expected the likes of us to be kicking their butts. Carden was looking around silently. Jaune, cut the chatter, you two were on patrol. They stumbled upon the ruins of Kuroyuri, wondering what happened there. The ruins were old, so it wasn't any recent activity, but that would be wrong to say the least when they come upon a disintegrating Grim. They checked on the corpse to find it was a Knuckleavi. Sun, who or what did this? They saw multiple arrows and slash marks on the body. Jaune pulled out the arrow, which easily broke as it was old. Jaune, something is wrong here. He noticed the slashes were not made by any blade, and then they heard a scream, seeing one of their fellow Helldivers being stabbed by something they can't see, and was lifted in the air. He was screaming until he was stabbed again, and was split apart by the waist. And when his blood was spilled, it landed on something out of thin air. They heard a hiss. Sun, B-U-G. Bowags. He grabbed the fallen diver's machine gun, hitting the invisible beast. Jaune, Carden, and Neptune with the rest of the squads joined in the barrage and killed the beast. Once dead, its body became visible. Sun, shit, shit, shit. They can turn invisible now. Jaune took samples of its blood for the Moes as Carden stepped on it as it was partially alive and looked at him. Carden, disgusting. He fired his revolver on its head, ending it. They spent the day wiping out the newly dubbed Stalker's nest, eliminating this new threat. The Helldivers doubled their efforts to wipe clean the bug infestation in Mistral, cleaning up all the nooks and crannies of the entire continent. They would eventually come across a certain tribe at this rate.